Hello, everyone. Hello to the three of you. I'm very happy to be moderating this roundtable today because we will go in the area where the value is liberated. We want to look at operational efficiency. We want to look at how to create value and mainly how to measure value. Everybody's talking about AI, it's great, it costs a lot, it has a lot of impact, positive, negative. And what we'll try to do all together today is to go in detail on what is the strategy that could be applied, that you apply in your different group. What are the success factors? We will ask them to open the hood and to give us some use cases. And also, what could be the limiting factor, the impact, negative impact, and how you overcome them. So to start with, Sue, you are the head of AI for transaction banking, the head of AI for IT innovation. Could you please give us some glimpse, and as much as you can say, on the strategy of BNP Paribas to liberate impact with AI and to measure it?
Okay, so you probably heard it a couple of times today, but AI is at the core of our business at BNP Paribas. So I have to start by saying that, and we strive to accelerate its deployment within our group. In order to do so, it is very important to be able to track the impact. And to do that, we use three types of metrics. The financial metrics, of course, is the ROI, is the cost savings. It's anything that gives you a clear picture of the financial impact AI has on your business. Second, there are perceptual metrics, and if you don't immediately get that, you and I have something in common, so don't worry. But it's basically user satisfaction, it's net promoter score, or anything that gives you insights into how your AI applications are being perceived by its users, by your customers. And third, there are usage metrics. Those are the things you get whenever you ask yourself how many times I've opened up ChatGPT or how many hours I've spent on my smartphone today. To get those metrics is a multidisciplinary work, so it's everybody's problem. A business owner, IT professionals, or end users, it's very important to involve everyone in tracking the impact of AI, because that's the only way that you can properly and safely measure how it has truly impacted your business.
Okay, very clear. Thank you very much, Sue. Emmanuel, now I will name you as the second speaker to unveil your strategy on measuring AI impact. Do you agree with what Sue said, and is there anything that you want to add, to differ with?
Yeah, to complement a bit, I mean, obviously to add on Sue's, and it's all about metrics, it's also about focus and, leadership commitment. So I'd say that's drastic prioritizations. We went through hundreds of POC, testing, etc. So now the businesses and the business unit are clearly focusing on 30 plus, use cases. And then the value mapping, I mean, either you are client-facing, non-client-facing, top-line, or efficiency-driven, you have to define where you want to capture the value, and then obviously the metrics, and last but not least, I mean, the leadership commitment. I mean, within the group, each of those 30-plus use cases will be dedicatedly driven from the executive committee, one member following a group of use cases till the value is captured.
Very clear. Thank you very much. And now, Anne-Gaëlle. So Anne-Gaëlle is the vice president at IBM and mainly managing financial services. And when we discussed with Anne-Gaëlle, I thought she will be saying, yeah, our clients are doing that. But no, she told me, no, we are doing that internally. We are measuring the impact of AI for our own services. And Anne-Gaëlle, I was a bit surprised because you are a big tech company, one of the biggest names in the market, but you still use it a lot internally and you reinvent things at core. So can you give us a bit
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Jérémie. Yes, what we say at IBM, we eat our own cookie, meaning we are client zero with our technology, and we are focusing on really improve our operational efficiency. As you said, we are a tech company, but we are also a 120 years company. So you can imagine the layer of processes across times. So we have really launched this program of transforming the company with AI. Also, as you said, Emmanuel, with the governance, with a layer all above until the chairman and the board. And what we do to measure, to your point to measurement, we always start a use case by benchmarking. Then we create a team, usually a cross-functional team, with the aim to really streamline our processes. And then with leveraging our AI technology to improve and continuously improve from there. So I can, share an example. You talk about a lot of metrics, but for example, if you take our customer support, what we measure is the number of inquiries that will be handled by our AI assistant from end to end. That would be 70% at the time. And also an example of the time to resolution that we track, that is down to 26% now. Yeah, just to give you some sense of the metrics.
Amazing. And so now I will ask some of you if you can unveil a bit what is under this measurement strategy, these AI use cases that you mentioned. And Sue, I know you have a lot of them going on at BNP Paribas, but can you give us maybe one or two key secret sauce use cases and as much as you can metrics as well of impact?
So for sure, as I think in our public communique, we've said that there's more than 700 AI use cases in production. So well, I have to pick one, but there are many use cases that I can tackle on. And I would probably talk about fraud detection and prevention. It's a classic that just never stops giving. It's a key issue for the banking sector, for sure. But not only, I mean, I've doubled in fighting against the fraud in my previous responsibility at the public finances as well. And it's definitely an area where the ingredients are there for AI solutions to be one of the right choices, because there are a lot of frauds. They are all kind of different, complex enough that deterministic approach is very difficult to implement. And fraudsters adapt quite well, so they evolve quite fast. And by working on those use cases, we've acquired the necessary foundation on classical AI that allows us to transition towards mastering the generative AI. And there are a couple of use cases that we strongly believe it will bring value. So if I put my IT casket on, we do believe that it will greatly help us with the operational efficiency of our developers by helping them to ship faster and better quality software. And on the other hand, we believe also that it's a very strong levers for our business to offer a more personalized experience and a more overall better banking experience as well.
Thank you a lot for this sharing. Anne-Gaëlle, both of your IBM hats internally, but as well as a client servicing company, can you give us as well some few use cases, some metrics that you could have for IBM or for your clients?
Yes, we have some many bestseller use cases, as you call. I will share with you one around procurement, because a couple of years ago, we started with an external benchmark, and we found out that we could really improve our procurement function. So again, we've created a procurement operation team to assess every step of the process, the time you spend in each step, leveraging our AI technologies like Watson X, and even working with our research lab to constantly improve our technology, and with the goal of really streamlining the process. Let me give you two examples. The first first function of a buyer is really to work with a trading partner. And when you do that, you need a lot of different information, like the revenue you make with this partner, the balance of trade, where are your POs, your contract terms, many things. And all those information are spread across various systems. And you need to know each expert that knows the system to get the info. So you can imagine the time to gather all this information. That was really a pain point. So after this implementation, we have seen that we have saved in a year 26,000 hours, because now we have built an AI assistant called Ask Procurement, and the buyer can, in natural language, query, ask those questions, and get answer right away. So this is an example. I have another one, if you like,
Yeah,
if we have time.
I think we are good on timing. Maybe a short second one.
Very short one. One that is tricky is the blocked invoice. So our average of blocked invoice was 37 days. So again, we applied the same process, leverage the AI, Gen AI, automation, and we are now down to 3 days to unblock an invoice. And the most important is we have 90% of this process is now automated.
Well played. Well played, IBM, and with your technology on your structure, so very impressive.
Thank you.
So that was for the good part. Like we say, yeah, it works well, and we did great measurement, we have great use cases. Sue, I will give you the not so pleasant job of giving us what could be the blocking point of the journey, what could be difficult to crack, and what are the success factors to still make it work.
Okay, so I knew this question was coming, so I'm going to focus on the success factor because, well, I want AI to be a success at the BNP Paribas, right? Well, that being said, mistakes and success factor are both sides of the same coin, so I'm going to phrase it this way. I want to focus on 3 key success factors. The first one is that, I've already said it, actually, that everybody needs to be involved from the start. Often we realize at the age where the value proving has been done and we need to accelerate the industrialization of the project, that IT is not involved from the start of the experimentation, and that, I think that's a mistake, and that's something that needs to be better prepared. And on the other hand, data science teams are often isolated within a business, that the business process is not thought of from the start as well. And you end up with a component, a project, that has difficulty to fit itself into an existing business process. So business owner, IT professionals, and data teams needs to be working together from the start. That is very important. Then second, I'm going to make a callback to the first question. It is very important to measure the impact. It's the only way they can prioritize because, well, the resources are not infinite, even at BNP Paribas. So it is very important to have appropriate metrics to make sure that you're working on the right projects and that you're tracking in practice that it generates value for your business and for your customers. And third is impossible to talk about impact without talking about the investment. And my message is quite short. You need to be ambitious and you need to be aware of the investment you make.
Indeed, and what we see regularly in Artefact is, and even if everybody is saying the same, but super important, the adoption path. It can be a tech adoption path, but as well end user adoption path, because you do an end-to-end process and you reinvent it with operational efficiency. And if you forget the user, if you have some pleasure as a data team or a data scientist team and so on, but then you forget that there is someone which job is reinvented and you don't embark them well enough in the journey, all the value you want to liberate, you want to envision is super hard to deliver. I don't know if you want to react to that, or we have a last question and some timing, but I'm happy to get your point of view on adoption. Otherwise, as you wish. You want to?
On the adoption.
Yeah, just what I said. I just, it wasn't prepared, but, but if you
For sure. I'm a strong believer that the employee adoption, which is also connected to the employee upskilling at the same time, is one of the priorities. It's not the last mile, it's half of the miles that you need to make sure that your solution is being used and produce value, right? And especially in the age of generative AI, it is very important to make sure that all the employees, but also your customers, can make heads and tails about the risks, the benefits, and distinguish what is the reality from what is completely invented promises. And maybe one last thing I want to touch on is that, especially in the age where regulators are getting more and more interested and involved, let's quote for instance, the AI Act, that not forces, but says that you actually need to make sure that your employees are aware of all the risks and everything related to the Gen AI, to the LM. So I believe that that the employee upskilling is something that we really need to focus on.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel, finishing with the last topic of today. So we are very positive about the impact in terms of value generated by AI. There are a lot of different impacts that AI, generative AI can bring: social impact, ecological impact, financial impact. Could you give us your point of view on the key area that could be impacted, and as well what you put in place at Crédit Agricole to limit this negative impact and focus as much as you can on the value part?
Yeah, thank you, Jérémie. I say that as a universal bank, we are absolutely caring about that part of the picture. We are unfolding that strategic agenda along 5 dimensions. The first one being pretty obvious, sustainability. So obviously sustainability, that's all about, carbon footprint or water consumptions. We keep in mind that, the most effective machine is the brain. The brain is, 20 watt to process something. And we absolutely have in mind that when you're using any LLM for doing that, this is 20 megawatt pre-training for achieving the same thing. So obviously there is a lot to do. We've been equipping the company for being able to measure the carbon footprint. However, there's a lot of discrepancy on the data and the ecosystem, so there is a lot to do there. The second part is, I'd say the second dimension is the, trusted AI. So obviously being transparent, that can be explained. Crédit Agricole and the École Polytechnique, we have been launching a chair for research and teaching about ethic AI. As being a board member of the CIGREF, the association of the CIOs of the largest companies on the user side in France, we are also running a specific work stream and committee with academics on the sustainability on digital, on AI. I'd say the third dimensions is inclusivity. One of the most artifacts of AI is bias. There is nothing to do about that. The way it's being designed and delivered, there is bias. So inclusivity, having some diversity in the way building the team and focusing on driving how the tooling, because that's a tool where you have some integration between the software and the knowledge. And knowing that the knowledge is have many bias, if you are not bringing together inclusive teams to be designing and monitoring, then you will not be, tackling that bias effect. And I'd say the fourth dimensions is the working life, well-being. employees, clients, I mean, all the routines of our clients, our employees are going to be disrupted by this tooling, so that's fine. I mean, we are eagerly trying to adopt and pushing all that adoptions. However, as a company, as an employer, we have that responsibility. We are accountable for moving forward the well-being for the good. So that will be the fourth. And the fifth might be a bit surprising, but we are strongly believing that European sovereignty, it's at the very heart of anything you can deliver on the previous four topics I mentioned. We are a company anchored in a country, territories. So whether you are, producing in Europe or selling in Europe or going to market outside Europe without any of the core value that being, pushed by the EU sovereignty, you will not have any influence on the ecosystem to bring all those players to deliver on the agenda I mentioned before. So ethics, sustainability, inclusivity, all of that is being pushed and will be relying on the core value and the core ecosystem we are building in Europe. So that's a key thing for us.
Thank you very much. And I think a reaction from Anne-Gaëlle on this point could be key to close this roundtable. Anne-Gaëlle, as with your IBM hat, how do you see your job and what IBM is doing going in the path of what Emmanuel just described?
So yeah, I'm completely aligned with Emmanuel, especially the fourth first. Just one topic I want to mention. IBM is committed to net zero by 2030. And therefore, we are focusing our research especially on small model, like 7-8 billion parameter, because we know that with large model, you consume a lot of GPUs and a lot of energy. So we really focus our research on improving the accuracy of such small model by training what we call with Instruct Lab, so a specific way of training in context your model to reach the same level of accuracy or above compared to very large model. So that's super important for us.
Well, thanks a lot. We are closing this roundtable right now. Key point I will remember, Emmanuel, the 20 watts to 20 megawatt, I think it was a great image. Sue, this totally unexpected question on adoption, I think it was very interesting the way you tackled it and how it's very important to upskill the person concerned, I mean all the employees, but the person concerned by the AI transformation. And Anne-Gaëlle, this last word on small language model trained on a very specific context, different language potentially with your platform, Watsonix, accepting different models, I think is a total versatile solution to some of the issue that has been tackled. Thank you very much all, and thank you very much for attending this conversation.